Okay, finally, the new season of the Orville is out. It's been, I guess, over 3 years now since season 2 came out. Finally, we have new Orville. I don't know where we're going to be picking up with this, if we're continuing right for season 2 or there's going to be a bit of a time gap, I don't know. But obviously, the last big events were the Kaelon incident with Isaac. The Kaelon assaulted Earth, but they were thwarted by the humans and the Krill teaming up. And they kept Isaac on board, so I'm assuming that's going to be a huge, judging by the trailers, that's going to be a pretty big bit of contentment amongst the crew. But other than that, nothing. I know nothing, no expectations, except I'm assuming I'm going to be laughing a lot like I usually do with Orville. And I'm excited. And enough of me talking, let's do it. Oh, that's nice. So is he going to be in this season or no? Okay, so here's the big Kaelon battle from last season. Oh, the music sounds very Star Wars. I can't remember what Claire's son's name is. Or one of her sons. That reminded me a lot of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Ty. Is this one Ty or is the other son's name Ty? Ty and Marcus, I think. I don't know which one's which, though.
Isaac?
Wow, both Strange New Worlds and Orville started this week with a dream sequence. A nightmare. Is his suit different? It looks like it's got more detailing on it. Maybe I'm just crazy. Come on, guys.
Hey. Sorry, that was a little harsh.
I have noticed the tendency of crew members in the mess hall to relocate when I approach, but the emotional response is beyond my capability.
That's a shame.
Indeed, it would be most informative.
You were deactivated during the battle, weren't you?
Yes.
I'm sure people have told you about it. I'll tell you a story anyway. I was on the USS Quimby.
The Quimby was destroyed.
Yeah. My best friend. Her name was Amanda. We made for the nearest escape pod. We strapped in, but when we initiated the launch, nothing happened.
What's wrong? I don't know. The sequencing mechanism is jammed.
We knew one of us was gonna have to launch manually.
I'll go. No, Charlie, I will do it. No, I will do it, Charlie. It's okay. It's okay.
Why would that door release be on the inside of the ship?
1 second she was there, and the next she was gone. Because of you.
You're wasting your time, honey. Isaac doesn't feel emotion.
You deserve to feel all the pain in the universe. And if I were you, I'd stay the hell out of the mess hall.
Gordon, why don't you take him out tonight, get him wasted?
Is that an order, sir?
It is.
I enjoy this job, sir.
Jolly to Captain.
I was in the mess hall earlier and there was an incident.
What do you mean?
Isaac came in, sat down. The only one who stayed was Ensign Burke. And she said some pretty rough things to him.
You don't think he should have been reactivated?
No, I don't.
Even though he was also the one who saved us.
I was just going to say, he saved you guys too.
And on top of that, how do you know he isn't carrying some sleeper program just waiting to fire up and take over the ship? People are
That's
scared,
fair.
Captain.
It's heresy for a captain to admit something like this, but I don't know that you're wrong. I made this decision, and I'm still not sure it was the right one. Isaac is the only person who might be able to help us devise a potent enough defense that we can all feel secure again.
And we'll have him to thank for that security? Will it be worth it?
Are they replacing each hull plate one by one? Oh god, this guy.
Oh, that's great. Hey, you know, everybody's asking that.
Give me off it. It is actually Norm Macdonald too.
Malloy to Orville. Request permission to dock. Permission granted. Much obliged.
As soon as Isaac does his calibration, we'll be ready for shakedown.
You're gonna let him get his dirty hands on this beauty?
But if it makes you feel better, I'm with you.
What do you mean?
I don't think Isaac should have been reinstated.
Acknowledge that he's there and you stay angry.
I guess I'm not that masochistic.
I mean, maybe one day we'll wake up and he'll be gone.
Whoa. That's inside the little quantum reactor. Have we ever seen that before?
How are you doing?
I am functioning within normal parameters.
Isaac? I don't think you're a murderer.
I thank you for your compliment.
Malloy to Orville. Pterodon is ready for shakedown.
Okay, Lamar, launch the birds. Aye, sir.
So he's just testing this new shuttle, basically the Delta Flyer, I guess. They're just doing this at the, right by the massive Earth space dock.
Yeah, well, I was trying to go.
Lamar, what do you think? Specs are pristine, obviously handles like a charm. Say welcome to the family.
Kiali to Grayson. Go ahead. We have something. Report? Lieutenant Peters was able to unscramble a line of code from the synthesizer interface. And we know who replicated the paint.
Who?
Marcus Finn.
My access code to cover up an act of vandalism.
Oh, vandalism. What a crime. He kills thousands of people and I'm the one in trouble?
Dang, is it the PS205
Can you give that thing a rest?
handheld?
I'm almost on the...
Marcus, can we talk with you?
I just remembered I'm supposed to study at Kyle's.
Wait.
I am sorry to have caused you distress.
What?
I am sorry to have caused you distress.
No, I heard you. This entire ship wants you gone. You know that?
Marcus, that is not
Mom,
true.
just stop it. I wish you were dead.
But he doesn't feel anything, though. It's making me sad, but he's not sad.
Science Station Dispatch, designation 839 Isaac. Improved tactical response time during combat. There is a 0.003% efficiency variance in the dysonium injectors. I offer my best wishes to the Finn family.
Oh, is this a suicide note? Yep. Wow, beautiful. Whoa, what? Standing inside the room with it?
About 27%. Well, I appreciate you giving your lunch in service of the fleet.
Kiali to Captain.
Go ahead.
We have an emergency.
How did this happen?
What it looks like is that Isaac used it to force a narrow band frequency spike in the central processor.
Why? Isaac committed suicide.
What?
There's no other reason to do something like this. If there's even a chance, Yaphet's gonna have to get in there.
How could he get to this place with no emotions?
I never believed that. We're seeing just how much he really felt.
Claire, I'm sorry. Even if we could power him up, his internal memory is shot. He'd be an empty shell. He's gone.
I just hope you understand that Isaac made a choice. It was the wrong choice, but it was his alone.
I'm really okay.
So Marcus feels responsible for Isaac's death.
I've been banishing all thoughts of Isaac for so long. To ignore the impossible reconciliation of who I knew him to be?
Just because someone you love does a bad thing doesn't mean you automatically stop loving them. He turned against his own people to save us.
After how many others had died? How could you love someone like that? What do I greet that with? Shame?
I like Claire's new hairstyle.
Acceptance?
I know that Isaac was not loved by all. He celebrated alongside us in victory. And he grieved alongside us in failure. And while Isaac never felt any of this on his own, we felt it for him. Each of us knew a different Isaac. And each of us will acknowledge this loss as we see fit.
Hi, Mom.
Hello, Doctor.
What are you doing?
I wanted to talk to Isaac.
I know, baby, we all do. I know it's comforting, but it's not real. The simulator is fun for games, but you can't use it to bring back people you've lost. It will get easier.
When?
Soon. You'll see. Simulation Isaac, 8443.
Yeah, I remember this when they went on their first date. Let it out, Claire.
Boom. That's it. Nice job, everyone.
And in 2/3 of the time.
He looks so freaking good in that. Like, good in a disgusting way. Even mirrored, the visual effects look really, really clean in this. Like, better than they did in the other two seasons by a lot.
You okay?
Yeah, I think my
Wow, she looks dangerous.
It was a birthday gift from Isaac.
He got you a fork for your birthday?
Yeah,
She's eating rock candy.
We all thought it was hilarious. I kept it.
Think he was wrong to do what he did? To take his own life?
Of course I do.
Well, it's accepted that no one makes the choice to exist. And
Her head looks like those weird spiky balls I had as a kid.
You just make sure to keep me nestled in that pretty little head of yours, and I will always be with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rattle you.
Stay as long as you want.
John!
What is he thinking? What the hell is that? God, this guy.
Step on it hard. Smash it. Way back in the days of the early computers, the programmers would sometimes bury a code deep inside the system, something that only they knew about, in case they wanted to get back in later on.
Wouldn't Isaac have accounted for that when he killed himself?
Maybe, maybe not. Could be he thought we'd never be able to activate it. What we need is the intuitive power of a biological brain, along with the visualization capacity to work in multiple dimensions.
Charlie.
Yeah, they mentioned that before. 4D geometry.
If it was anyone other than you, I'd suspect this was some kind of sick joke.
Look, I know this isn't easy. Look, Ensign, try to see
No,
this.
no way. I'm sorry, Captain.
So your willingness to assist a fellow crewman depends on your personal feelings at the time. This thing you do where you act like you have some kind of a monopoly on grief.
Yeah, really.
Starting to wear a little thin.
Nope. Oh, Kalon ship.
Get us out of here.
Captain, that's a lot of weather down there.
Kalon ship is dropping out of quantum.
Gordon, take us in.
They don't have to. These storms are going to do their job for them.
How many torpedoes do we have?
26.
Gather them all up, load them onto a shuttle.
Sir?
Just do it.
Aye, sir.
Submarine warfare?
Exactly.
This is just like what they did against the Gorn in Strange New Worlds.
The stasis field was knocked out by the storm and the storage cell's degrading. If we don't do this in the next couple hours, we're gonna lose Isaac for good.
Ensign Burke,
Come on, Charlie.
Sir,
please report to engineering and assist Lamar.
I'm afraid I can't do that, sir.
You are relieved.
You're relieved of duty.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm Marcus. I'm Dr. Finn's son.
Yeah, I've seen you around. What can I do for you? Or did you just want to meet the girl who got fired?
Well, please help Isaac.
Why do you want to help Isaac?
Because
Guess he feels guilty.
I'm the reason he killed himself. I told him I wished he was dead.
Oh, man. Marcus, it's human instinct to look for someone or something to blame when this happens. Suicide is pointless. When anyone dies, it's a tragedy.
But are you glad?
Yes. You don't want to carry that around inside you. Not at your age. It's not your fault.
I didn't really want him to die.
Data transits are stabilizing.
Internal power cells are reconforming.
I think we got him.
Hey.
Isaac. Are you okay?
Please explain.
Captain, permission to return to duty?
Granted.
I didn't do it for you.
How are you feeling?
Commander Lamar has verified that my internal systems are functioning within standard parameters.
My training is in biological psychiatry. There's no precedent for the psychoanalysis of an artificial life form, but we have to try anyway.
My deactivation was intended to restore maximum operational output aboard the Orville.
And that's it?
Correct.
I'm looking for a way in.
Please clarify.
Damn it, Isaac, you tried to kill yourself. And I need to know that you're not gonna do it again. Do you accept my status as primary authority when it comes to the psychological well-being of this crew?
Yes.
My judgment as a medical professional is superior to yours.
Yes.
The psychological damage to this crew would be much greater if you succeeded in taking your own life.
Your reasoning is sound.
You don't know how this crew is going to feel a year or even a month from now.
I did not apply that data as it is unavailable at this time.
That's my point. There is no problem so immense that it can't be solved in time.
It would appear so.
I just need to know that you're going to be safe. If at any time in the future you have these thoughts, you come to me.
I promise.
Good. I'm glad you're still here.
Thank you, Doctor.
You gonna apologize, Marcus? Couldn't do it. Wow, talk about a drastic tonal shift. I mean, that was a grim, depressing episode for the most part. Not what I was expecting. I mentioned before that I was expecting them to elaborate on the Isaac plotline of the sort of fallout of the invasion of Earth from the last season, and they did, and that was the whole basis for this episode, which I'm happy, because Isaac is a great character. I mean, he's the archetype Data Spock character, and Mark Jackson, I think, is the actor who plays him, is fantastic, and he's usually the source of a lot of funny moments. But in this episode, there was almost no funny moments. It was almost all serious, which was different. I certainly wasn't expecting it. Wow, I mean, it was very intense. And, I guess, Isaac doesn't feel any emotion, but I guess the audience is meant to feel it for him, because I certainly did. It was very sad. And let's talk about our only new character, I think, Charlie Burke, Ensign Charlie Burke, the new, I guess, navigator. I don't know who plays her, but she's, I mean, I don't really like her at the moment from what we see in this episode. That's because she's sort of the rebellious, sort of opinionated character that is very much against, I guess the whole crew really is against Isaac at this point, except for the senior staff, which is, makes total sense. She lost somebody. I mean, Mercer says that, most of us lost people. You're not the only one who lost somebody, so you don't have a monopoly on grief. That was a great line. That sort of made her realize that she needs to, she can have her grief, but she can still be, a valued member of the crew. She can work past it, to do what's right. And that the value of Isaac being on board the ship strategically is worth it, worth more than her grief, apparently. But thinking about the story around Marcus feeling guilty about Isaac killing himself was interesting. I didn't really, he didn't speak to Isaac at the end. He decided not to. I guess that'll be elaborated on the next episode a bit more. But I don't really know where this season's going to go. I feel like we didn't really set up anything for the season to follow in this episode. It was more like wrapping up stuff, or we're just sort of, building on stuff from the last season. So I think this slate's pretty much completely clean as far as the direction they're going to go for the rest of the season. As far as I know, this is going to be the last one. So there's probably going to be some big bombastic stuff happening. But yeah, totally different from the Orville that I'm used to. I liked it very much. I hope not every episode is so grim. I'm sure that's not going to be the case. I'm sure the next episode will be fun again. But every once in a while, it's good to have a good dramatic story. And this was that. It's a great episode. Those are all my thoughts. Hopefully, I don't know what the general consensus on this episode has been. It's just pretty funny because the Strange New Worlds episode this week, Spock Amok, was really fun and lighthearted. And the Orville episode this week was very grim. It's like they switched roles. It's very weird. But I'm sure we'll get back to our normal sort of programming next week. But until then, thanks for watching.